Here is the Air Jordan 1 for every sneakerhead and shoe enthusiasts alike. You've probably always wanted a pair or had these in your collection. But would you believe me if I told you that this shoe almost never existed? Let me explain. The year is 1983, and MJ is a young college star at the University of North Carolina at 66 with amazing athleticism and feel for the game. MJ was drafted in 1984 as the third overall pick to the Chicago Bulls.
Pick Michael Jordan of the University of North Carolina.
Simultaneously, Nike was a young up-and-coming sportswear brand looking for a brand ambassador to take them to new heights. Struggling at the time to keep up with the powerhouses, that of Adidas and Converse, Nike needed their next move to be their best move if they wanted to keep up or exceed their competitors. In 1984, Nike had some pretty good players by the name of Moses Malone and Jamal Wilkes, but they had yet to have a prime-time box office player on their roster. At the time, Converse had a slew of box office players such as Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Dr. J, and Isaiah Thomas. Nike needed their next ambassador to boost their popularity and take them to new heights. They had a particular person in mind, but there was one problem. He did not want to sign a deal with Nike, at all. See, at the time in 1984, when MJ was only 19 to 20 years old, and like most people his age, he wanted to wear Adidas. The flashy tracksuits and three stripes were the way to go, and he didn't want anything to do with the unestablished and heard of Nike. And fortunately for MJ, Adidas wasn't too interested in the star, so he decided to go with his next best option at the time, Converse. But even Converse didn't really spark his interest. Michael wanted Adidas, and that was it.
Michael had no interest in going with Nike. He wanted to go with Adidas. That was his strong preference. And he didn't even want to get on the plane to see Nike. And I said, well, Michael, we're going to visit all the companies. It's like getting recruited by colleges, and you have to see the people and see the facilities and whatever. He said, David, honestly, I played a long season, just finished the Olympics with Coach Knight, it was grueling. I don't want to go. And I didn't know him very well, I only met him twice. We had no relationship, we barely knew each other. And I'm making my very first recommendation of my career, and he's basically turning me down. So I called his parents and I said, look, if we're gonna work together, you have to trust me. This is really the company that's gonna do the most for Michael. They're the most innovative, they need him the most. They're not the big kid on the block. This isn't like North Carolina. And they said, okay, don't worry, David, we'll take care of it. So he got on the plane and we flew out to Oregon through Chicago.
Nike's marketing chief, Rob Strasser, committed to giving Michael his own line of shoes and clothing in 1984, before he had even played an NBA game.
Nike knew they've hit a gold mine and had to go all in. They got straight to it and started designing shoes for the newly signed rookie. Nike's creative director at the time, Peter Moore, who had previously designed the iconic Nike Dunk, was assigned with the task of designing MJ's very first signature shoe. And boy, did he have it cut out for him. Michael, who originally didn't want to sign with Nike, had a list of requirements for the signature shoe, such as Nike soles being too high for his liking, and that he needed to be closer to the ground when playing. Michael also was not a fan of Nike's Air Unit technology, but Nike, being fully committed to the newly signed rookie, was determined to meet every demand. Peter Moore decided to lower the Air Unit and decided to go with the black and red color blocking for the shoe, which matched Jordan's Chicago Bull uniform. The shoe's design language was similar to other Nike classics at the time, like the Air Force One and the Dunk. The legendary name for the brand was created in mere minutes by David Falk and Rob Strasser.
So what do I want to call it? I want to call it Michael Jordan. Like, what else are you going to call it if it's a signature line? It's his signature shoe. So we can't call it Michael Jordan. So I said, okay, what do you want to call it? He said, that's your challenge. He said, we will make a line, but you've got to come up with a name for the line, but it can't be Michael Jordan. All of a sudden, it occurred to me that Nike had just come out with a new running shoe that had this allegedly revolutionary technology called air soles that cushion your foot. And I'm thinking to myself, air, Michael is a great dunker, he flies through the air. So I said, okay, literally, maybe it took me a minute. I got it. I said, we're going to call it Air Jordan. Air for the air soles, Jordan for Michael. So people know it's Jordan, but it doesn't say Michael Jordan.
And just like that, Nike's marquee Air Jordan shoe was born. The original black and red colorway, or better known as the bread, was extremely groundbreaking. See, at the time, most shoes that took the court were primarily white and had a team's main color in a very subtle way. The bread Jordan was loud, bold, and polarizing amongst fans. Most professional athletes would wear suits or blazers. Mike, on the other hand, would wear the iconic shoe off the court in a pair of jeans or tracksuit, and accessorize with his gold chains. This look became popular amongst the youth, and thus Mike became bigger than just basketball. He became a trendsetter. Nike would finally have that franchise player they were looking for, and it all was going considerably well. That is, until the NBA put out a ban on Michael's signature sneaker with a letter stating that the shoes did not comply with the NBA's uniform rules and procedures. This brought a lot of attention to MJ and Nike. Nike would use this as a brilliant marketing move, and would ignore the letter and pay the $5,000 fine for every game he would wear the shoes, thus igniting the legendary ban campaign.
On September 15th, Nike created a revolutionary new basketball shoe. On October 18th, the NBA threw them out of the game. Fortunately, the NBA can't stop you from wearing them. Air Jordans.
This created an immense amount of hype for the sneaker. People went absolutely crazy for these shoes. But get this, there is speculation that the NBA never banned the Air Jordan, and that it was just a marketing ploy used by Nike. That's somewhat true. During the 1984 season, Mike actually wore the Air Ship. This shoe acted as a temporary placeholder while Nike finalized the Jordan 1. The NBA actually banned the Air Ship. So now you know, this was still pure genius on Nike's behalf, and in a way revolutionized marketing. That's the story of the Air Jordan 1. If you guys would like more of these videos, like, comment, and subscribe. And let us know what's your favorite Jordan in the comments section. Personally, I love the 4s. But anyways, until next time here at Top 5 DOA.